Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to me, rather than to you guys. So I've been off for a little bit, as you probably know, or may not know, but now you do know. Basically everything has been quite busy with work. I sort of mentioned that in my last video. Nothing, or no, that hasn't changed since then. Or that that explanation is still the same. Things have changed though because I've now come out of that. So an incredibly busy period, lots of very unique projects and stuff going off at once. So yeah, not a usual time for me. I put in an incredible amount of extra hours, especially, well, I tracked a 3 week a 3 week time, and I'd done an extra 74-ish hours, which is altogether far too much, I must say. But I don't know. It's just one of those. You got projects that you need to do, and I'm sure many of you will sympathise with me on that one. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically why I've not had a chance to. Not had a chance to really play any video games. I did buy, and I have done one season on Football Manager, since that came out, which is only like last week or something. Been doing some stuff on my computers as well, but not made any videos on that at the minute. So yeah, it's been a little bit all over the shop really, in terms of, and now obviously trying to get back into the groove of doing things as well. Not all that easy. Hence why I obviously didn't do some of my Arsenal videos. Because I missed them as well. I did get to watch the games though, which is, or most of the games, which is good. I also had jury service as well during this time, so yeah, that was another thing that happened. It was, I don't know. Lots of people have lots of questions about it, but I think it's just one of those things that I think you should do if you do get called up for it. And mine was a little bit different. I won't go into it too much, but it was the coroner's court rather than like the Crown Court or anything. So it wasn't a like guilty, not guilty verdict at all. It was around deciding on the circumstances that led to someone's death. That's the circumstances. So yeah, so that was altogether different and really not what I was expecting. It was some colourful characters on the jury, I must say. So that definitely made things a bit more interesting. It did sort of drag on toward the end because there's a lot of sort of conjecture around the words that we were using. I think there wasn't any sort of major dispute, which I think probably that's the sort of what you think will happen when you go in. There's going to be like loads of people who think one thing and loads of people think another thing. Well, not really necessarily the case. We all sort of very much agreed from what we heard. It was more how we go about portraying that in the best way in our written verdict. So yeah, that was probably the bit that definitely was the bit that took the most time out of the whole thing. And it's just one of those, though. People have different ways that they want to describe things, and obviously we have to use certain legal terms in the judgment to make sure that I guess it's just to ensure that it's consistent and that we're not sort of placing, like, trying to interpret or give blame or anything. So yeah, it's different. If you get called up to it, I'd recommend doing it. If you've had it before, I'd be interested to know what you guys have thought. But I didn't really want to come on here and talk about jury service for the whole like 5 minutes, but I have. So there you go. That happened. I also gave an engineering presentation as well that I've been working on for months, or I've been doing the groundwork for months, and it took me a good week to put together that presentation and script and stuff, which went quite well. I ended up coming second place in that in the Midlands section, so quite happy with that. I think my presentation skills were not quite as good as they could be. You would think, doing YouTube and streaming and stuff, that I would be top notch at that sort of thing, but I'm really not. I do get quite self-conscious and a bit and like quite nervous, I guess, as well. Especially to begin with. I think once I've warmed up, I'm fine. But yeah, to start off with, I'm a slow burn with that kind of thing. So yeah, there's that. I've bought some stuff for my computer, which you'll probably see behind me. Well, I bought some stuff that way, and I bought some stuff that way. But yeah, we'll go for it. That will be sort of separate videos and upcoming videos. Some quite interesting stuff. I've also got a little bit of a change that I want to do. If anyone's seen the Linus Tech Tips, the sort of challenge they're doing, I want to do something very similar, which will really toss everything on its head in terms of actually being able to just do stuff that I want to do. But so basically, it's the Linux challenge, I guess, if you want to call it a challenge. But yeah, like working with Linux for a couple of months or something. I'm not decided on the time scale for myself yet, but I have been trying to set stuff up in the background. Let me tell you, it was an absolute pain in the backside. So I want to make sure that I've got. I know this is not really the way you're supposed to do it, but I want to make sure that everything is semi-functional before I commit to making the switch. I know that Linus and I forget the other guys, Luke. They just did it from scratch. Like, just said, right, I say I'm going to cut it now. So mine's not going to be like that. I will go through. I'll do a separate video when I do decide to do that, because I think that's quite interesting to get someone else's perspective. I don't know. I have tried to use Linux before in the past with some success, until you come across like one big hurdle that you can't get over, and then you're like, right, so I'm switching back, which is probably what will happen to me this time. But no, I'm determined to try and see it through and try and do a good job on it. And I think it'd be interesting to see as well, like compatibility and that sort of thing. One thing I will say is, though, this is just off the bat, just so you're aware, I won't be using my main computer. I will be using the sort of test bench, if you like, rather than my main computer, because I just don't. I have this thing where I like to do as little intrusive, especially experimental wise, on my main computer as possible, because for me, my main computer has to be like my source of sanity. It just has to work. Everything else can go to crap, but my main computer not so much. Yeah, it's I don't know, a bit of a mental block, I guess, that I've got. So yeah, just so you're aware, that's what's going to happen. I don't think there's too much else to talk about. There'll be videos coming up. There's some games that I bought that I wanted to do videos on. There's a couple of games I've had a chance to play for like half an hour that I would like to do videos on, but you'll probably see all that stuff coming up. I'm going to try and get back into it a little bit. There's a couple of big videos that I still want to do, some that I'm halfway through editing, which I always find those the most difficult. When you're halfway through something, you go back to do it again, because you're like, right, okay, what was I thinking when I put that slide there, or when I filmed that little clip, what was I going to use that for? I think it's because I don't like set out like this, like a drawing of how I want the video to go, because I'm not sort of professional, so I just sort of do whatever I want. But I do quite like to have things at least make some sort of sense, and I find it difficult to pick that up and get back into it. So they will come. I can't say when they will come. I guess they're quite timeless in a way that they don't have to be done sort of right now or anything. But yes, there's some interesting hardware videos that I've got in the pipe. All right, GoPro, chill out. That I've got in the pipeline that I want to do. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then fine, you can watch it. If it's not of interest to you, then that's also fine. But yeah, just know there will be a good variety of stuff coming out. I've got lots of ideas and stuff that I want to do. I need like some sort of like physical, like a whiteboard almost, so I can put projects on. No, I probably shouldn't go out and buy a whiteboard, but I do want to. Okay, I'll have to think about it. I've got post-it notes, but I always find that they always like turn up at the sides and stuff, and yeah, and then my whole monitor would just be full of post-its, which I'm not actually that massively keen on. All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Sorry I've blabbered on for so long. It's in my nature, unfortunately. But I hope you've all been well, and I hope you've all been keeping well, because yeah, I mean, like I say, I've been in a bit of a weird place recently with doing that many hours and trying to put together presentations, and then and then I had my grandma stay over while I was doing jury service. So stuff's been like really sort of a lot of very full on, I guess, recently. So yeah, bear with me, but I'll get stuff out as and when I can. Like I say, there's no loss in passion or desire or anything like that to do videos and to do streaming and to carry on playthroughs and to try out other games. I might be doing some more stuff where I just sort of have more of a sort of back to my sort of first impressions of games that I've really wanted to try out. I just can't see any other way of doing it, to be honest. So I think that's probably the tact for now. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Let me know who enjoyed the video of me just chatting at you for 10 minutes. But yeah, let me know what you think. Any queries, comments, or anything on what I've said, that would be great. And I'll see you all very soon. So, but thanks for watching. Bye for now.